Hello Shapers of the Future. Today I'm going to be showing you just lots of random stuff, but mainly I've bought a couple of bits of kit, and I have to say first impressions are very good. So I'll go through it. The first, which was nice and silver until, well, it was silver briefly, but now is completely black, which is fine. That's not a problem. It was a 10 centimeter zebra pot. It came with plastic clips, which I've took off, which everyone seems to do, and replaced with these little metal clips. Don't know if you can make them out. All they do is keep the lid on, and also the other, which more important thing I think, is that they lock this handle, so you can hold it like that and not worry about it spilling bloody everywhere. So it's got a little lid. We've got some water in there. It also comes with a little tub which sits neatly on that, and that is like keep things warm for quite some time really. These are quite good. They're made out of stainless steel, much better than aluminium if you're using them on fires and things like that. I was previously a transier, but I'm finding the alcohol a pain in the butt, and I'm surrounded by dead wood that needs really to be burnt up, so I'm the man for the job. Now, the second thing is a hotbox, firebox. This is cheap from eBay. Mixed reactions with it, but on the whole quite good. And I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, it cost £13, which that's worth a go, isn't it? I mean, it's not going to break the bank too badly. And this is the little grill that sits on top. I might need to change you around a little. Bear with me. And here it is, on the go. Now I watched a few videos about this. I've only made one modification with this, and that is just putting little holes here, there, and there, just so that it sits more flush in there. You're not likely to spill something because you've knocked the tray off. Simple as that. I'll give you a more detailed view of it later, but at the moment I need a cup of coffee, so we'll see how long it takes this to boil. There's probably a cup and a half, 2 cups in there. I would advise, when using these kind of things, using a fireproof glove. This is very thick, made for the job. It can pick up things briefly that are very hot. That will start to warm up eventually, but you've got plenty of time usually. I could pick the stove up even with these. Try and avoid it. I mean, you don't actually need to pick it up with these anyway. There's other methods, but we'll go into that later. So I'll start getting my coffee ingredients ready. Which is sugar. And I like these little cappuccinos. They're so simple. Mucking around. I do like a cup of tea as well, don't get me wrong. But in the daytime, nice cup of coffee. I actually get 2 out of each pack and then add a little bit of my own coffee. I'm a bit tight like that, but they go too quick, so you're getting twice the amount of time drinking coffee by splitting them in half. And then, like I say, adding just a little bit of good coffee to them. Americano, Nescafe. I mean, I say good coffee. I know there's a lot of better coffees out there, but this will give me a little kick, and that's really all I want. So how are we doing? I think I can hear something bubbling a little bit. Another thing you might be wondering why it's all wrapped up in bricks at the moment. It's because these things actually burn through wood very quickly, because they're like air blowers, where you get a fierce flame, which obviously needs a lot of energy, so you burn your wood up quick, but you get this funnel action because all the air is coming in through the bottom and it has to come out this top. There's no other place for it to come, so air in at the bottom, heat out the top, perfect system. I've heard people say on the internet that they burn too quickly, use too much wood, too fierce. Well, obvious solution to that is put less wood in, for one, but also, like I have, you can block off the airflow a little bit here or there. I've got it channeling. The wind is coming in from this direction at the moment, so that it goes into these little air holes and then pushes through, and the smoke goes over there, and we get a good bit of consistent wind. If you find you're lacking on a little bit of wind, Lil Eng turns it into a little jet burner. Yeah, that vastly improves it. You know, if you fall asleep or if you just out collecting wood or something, come back and there's nothing but embers, it's no issue with this fan. Just bung a little bit of dry wood in there and hardly any time at all, that'll stir it back to life. Sugar, I don't put that in, did I? Gotta have my sugar. Trying to cut down, but still 3 or 4 spoons. I mean, this isn't a teaspoon, this is something I made. It's probably half a teaspoon, but I just like the length of it so that you can get into things that are deep, like coffee pots or sugar bags. Right, well, this is definitely making a noise, so we're going to have a look, and I think it's done. It's a lot quicker than my previous Trangia, which would take about 10 minutes to make a cup of tea or coffee. So we push these latches down, and we fold that down so that we can access the lid. Yeah, and that's lovely. I would imagine that is a rolling boil, but we will just pop it just back up on there just to see if it is rolling boil or not. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, that's about as hot as water can get. So a lovely little hot cup of coffee to start with. Cheers. So what happens now It's just put this down here next to the fire to keep it a little bit warm, not too hot. Lock the lid back in place so it keeps it. I could probably have another cup if I drink this quite quickly with that in there, because it keeps the temperature of the water pretty darn hot. It's like a little hot water bottle with insulation and stuff. So that is the zebra, the billy can, pot, hanging pot, whatever you want to call it. 10 centimeters, the smallest they do. I usually only use it just to boil up a bit of water, but there is options. You could put a potato in there and use it as an oven to cook your potato. I've even seen chickens stuffed into much larger versions of these, and then used like an oven where they put it on the side like this and then rotate it over the flame. But I don't think I'll be trying that. This part is holding out. It's a little bit worrying how red it gets and stuff. It feels like this isn't going to last, but we'll see. And if we move further down here, I find it easier just to keep the door closed, and that way we're using the full, it's almost like a nitros, NOS or something, where the airflow just basically kicks the flames right off into a little jet burner. Now and again, I've noticed you will have to clean these ashes out from the bottom here. You can see it's all just dead ash. There's a little bit of glowing stuff, but not much. It's all spent. But yeah, I mean, that's all the attention it needs there. And now you can see the bottom again. The airflows are on maximum because they're not being blocked up with little bits of ash. So this is in simmering mode at the moment. I mean, you could make it more simmering, even slower cooking, by adding something at the front and closing it off like that. That is not going to produce the jet flame that this is made to do, and you'll find that you'll just need to use a couple of bits of wood now and again, instead of just continuously feeding it. I mean, it's debris burner, so you can burn little twigs, but obviously I think something around that size is perfect once it's going, just to keep it going without having to tender it much at all. I've let that get a little bit low, so we'll put a little bit of this oak chip in. There we go. Right, so on to the design of this thing. I told you I made a modification with the top by putting a little cut in there, cut in there, cut in there, cut in there to hold the plate. That adds a little bit more stability to the whole thing, which is great. Quite happy with that. The wind is coming from this direction at the moment, so this is basically what you have. You have a door on the front, which opens and closes quite obviously as a door should. You can see if I have that open, you can feed logs in, bigger logs if you like, but as I say, I don't like, that's going to burn through wood a lot quicker because of this air to the side, blowing in. It's going to produce that jet. So I think the best way to conserve a little bit of wood and to channel the flame and to get the actual jet itself, it's best to keep that closed and just make sure you chop your wood about the right size. I've got a stash of wood which I'm still currently chopping. Let's see. What we've got here is silver birch at the back, all nice chunky bits. I could chop them yet with my axe, but I did put one on just now, a really large one, and it just slowly burnt, which was great. Exactly what you wanted, really, I thought. So a mixture maybe of small and medium, or medium and large pieces, and it seems to suffice. We've got some black alder down here as well. That just quick burns. It's very dry. It's rapid burn stuff. You're going to be busy feeding it with that. Then we've got a little bit of pine with the resin in, as you can see, the rings, red rings, and then we've got quite a lot of oak over here. Little kindling. I like oak. I think oak is the best for burning, personally. It burns for a very long time, and it also creates a very hot ash coal, which seems to burn smokelessly for quite a long time. That seems to be the benefit with oak, but gorgeous for cooking with, and just my favourite. We have got a bit of ash here, this long bit, but I'm not going to burn that. That's going to be used for something else. Whilst we're on the subject, I have got a couple of a big long bit of birch over there, which I would love to make a longbow out of, but I feel like I lack the experience to do so. But hell, I'm going to give it a go anyway. It's a beautiful piece of ash. It's seasoned. It's been down for a long time. The bit in front of it is a bit of silver birch, obviously, but the bit at the back, which is almost shaped like a bow, if I show you. I know we're going off subject a bit, but this I thought was just such a gorgeous find. The beauty with that is it's got a bow shape, quite a lot of knots in it, which is not good. But yeah, it's got it. I didn't actually have to do anything with it. It was sawn down by the side of a road. I just picked it up and carried it. And yeah, it's a good, solid, just right seasoned wise, I would say, piece of ash. Very happy with. Anyway, we're getting off subject a bit here. So, stick you over here. Yeah, you can roughly see everything there. So as I say, you've got this door. I really did go off the subject, didn't I? And you've got these little handles so that you can move it around. Now, what quite a lot of people don't realise is that you can actually lock these into this. So that they go through the little hoops. Yeah, it's going to add a little bit more stability, but because I've put these grooves in here, this thing doesn't move anyway, So don't actually necessarily need to have those. I guess you could lift it with a very long thin stick, kind of thing like that, but I actually prefer we take those off, keep that firmly in there. Taking this thing off because we're not boiling or cooking, it's just going to ruin it. And then we've got the portable side of things. I've got it on a stone slab. It doesn't actually need a stone slab. It doesn't seem to be burning the base at all from what I've seen, because it has got a metal plate along the bottom here and a gap. Yeah, I've been using this all day and it's been low maintenance, and I would have to say the best bit of all with this is because we've got a good airflow system and it's compact into this size, we are actually getting hardly any smoke. You can see now that there's just a few bits of charcoal down there really that should be smoking on an ordinary fire, but because it's all pressed in together, it makes optimum use of burning wood. So that's my favourite thing about it, because smoke is a complete nightmare. And on an open fire, you've got bits of wood hanging out of the sides that are possibly charcoaled, semi-burning, but giving off a lot of smoke. This doesn't give you that opportunity. There will temporarily be a bit of smoke, but I can soon negotiate that with this fan, just by plonking that there. It's on the lowest setting at the moment for the fan. It doesn't actually need to go any higher than that. Just leave it there for a minute and that will definitely get everything going in there. If we blast it up, yeah, then we're talking a proper jet burner. This gives you an idea of what this thing is meant to do. It's meant to draw that air in through the bottom. At the moment I'm pushing it through with a fan, and we're creating a jet. And as you can see, very little smoke, if any, which is just fantastic. So all in all, it's a very clever little design. How long it'll last, I don't know, obviously. It seems good. I can't find any faults yet. It's made out of stainless steel, so it shouldn't disintegrate too quickly. It £13. It's a damn sight cleaner than having a campfire. You're not leaving scars. You're not having to clean up all the bloody mess. All you have to do now and again is just take out that bit of ash at the bottom there. And that ain't very often, to be honest. But look. That would boil a cup-sized piece of water probably in 30 seconds. I mean, that is jet burning at the moment. Even now, I've turned the fan off. It's still getting enough air through the bottom. Of course, you could open it up more and get the full effect of the wind from all directions, and that would jet burn even more. But I'm a little bit lazy. I don't want to spend all day collecting wood. So, and there's no need. So I block off most of it with these bricks so that it burns at less of a jet rate. There is other options. The thing I like about this is the height. Fantastically, coincidence maybe, but it is just under 2 bricks in height. So if you've got a brick, another grill, a bigger grill, need a bit more on there, like I have, you can just rest it on the actual stones. Push that in there, like that. That's not going to go anywhere. And there's a little bit more cooking area. It's just a handy option. Obviously this is part of my hanging grill from a tripod, which could be used with this if you want to get a little bit more control over that flame again. Then, yeah, good stuff. I can smell the last meal that I had on this last night. Making me hungry. Anyway, so yeah, you can, but also if it's burning too much, there's nothing stopping you covering half of it, even more. These bricks will eventually break, but they don't seem to shatter or explode or anything, so you're quite safe. But that will eventually burn the moisture out of this brick, and then that will just kind of crumble a bit, I found. But there again, we've got a more intense jet flame. If we stifle the airflow to the bottom, I mean, that's not completely shut off there, but already it's calmed down that jet. Like I say, this brick is going to get hot. But, yeah, there's ways of controlling it, so it doesn't go through quite as much wood, which seems to be its main complaint, which I think is a bit silly. It's a jet burner, it's going to go through wood quick. But this is various ways of slowing that process, making it into a more chilled fire. Also, by putting sizes like this on, it's just going to make it into a normal fire, your average fire. It just seems a very good bit of kit. I hope it lasts. Take away the air vent, get the jet back in. It's going to work with my char cloth too. Also, if you've got a pair of these tongs, they work with every part of this actual billy can for handling any hot parts. There's that coffee. But low maintenance, I can just sit here, relax. As soon as those flames start to die down, just need to sling 2 bits like that on, and then every other one, just put a big bit on, and you'll get a nice mellow fire, which can't be wrong. Is there anything else to cover with this? Yeah, I'm going to be doing a few things today. Yesterday I managed to complete the axe handle. This was a very cheap axe, £12, piece of crap. The handle that I had with it broke the first time I used it, pretty much, which was dangerous. So I've got a bit of ash, like I just showed you, which is a very nice hardwood, but also it takes a bit of the shock out. And yeah, that's a bloody good axe now, I think. I've put a bit of an edge on. Ended up putting a wedge in the middle, just so it flares the top out so that it won't come off, flying off. And yeah, it's just a nice little hatchet size. And so far, it's holding out, and I think it will hold out because it was just really hard to work. The grain was so hard on it. I'm hoping that will withstand the tests of time, but we'll see. The stove folds up into a little bag this size. It's a little bit heavy because it's stainless steel, but I mean it's less than a kilogram, I'm sure, and it doesn't take too much room up. The billy can is a little awkward in shape. You know, if everything was rectangular, square, or whatever, it would be so much easier. Round things are always a little bit awkward in backpacking, but you know, it's worth it, pure and simply. I did have Trangia, but the saucepans with the non-stick stuff that was on them doesn't like open campfires or flames like this. It's okay if you're going to use the Trangia stove, but otherwise that will burn off the non-stick layers by having too much heat. And aluminium, you know, you can melt it on a good fire with a little bit of air. So yeah, I'm going stainless steel now. Stainless steel or bust. So there we have it. Simple as that. I could have shown you me unwrapping it, but I didn't know anything about it at that time. Now I've used it, tinkered with it, controlling airflows with it a little bit, adjusting the amount of heat it produces. It's obviously work in progress, but I'm very happy with it. Very. The only thing left for it now is the test of time. So I will report back to you in another episode, much further down the line, or if it breaks, letting you know how long this thing will last. It's not showing any signs of warping yet, which is great. And also the same for this. I shall keep you informed. At the moment, I can't fault this pair. That is cooking water very hot. With the lid, it's keeping it all the crap out, and also keeping the inside very warm, keeping the boiling process much quicker than what I was used to anyway. Yeah, so that'll be about it. Thanks for watching. If there's any questions or anything really, if you think I'm a bit of an idiot for whatever reason, drop it down in the comments, and you know, I'll take that on board. Maybe not, but the point is, we want to progress, we want to have new ideas, because that's the fun of it all, isn't it, really? To be fair, camping is, to me, it's ingenuity, being able to come up with something pretty much from nothing, in every sense of the word. Stick of the dump, I guess, which I might hasten to add was my first book I read, and has probably led me to where I am now. I would love a little chimney system. Not that there's much smoke, but just I would just like a chimney. But that's food for thought, perhaps another time. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Take care in the woods. And yeah, think about buying one of these. I'm not endorsed, but both of these products, bloody good. Thanks for watching.